Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Video Entrepreneurs. We're going to have a great episode today talking to you guys about product launches, email lists, and all that kind of stuff. I'm in the hot seat and I have two products coming up, two different web video courses. I want to talk about, not so much about the courses, but how do I actually launch these, and hopefully it'll help you guys who have products and services that you want to use that like monetize your audience through, that this will be helpful for you as well. So if you're not familiar, welcome. This is this is our sixth episode or seventh. I put myself on the spot. I forget. Let me look here. It is our seventh episode, and it's me and 5 other full-time YouTube creators, and we just talk about with each other the issues, the questions, the roadblocks that we have about our own businesses that we're developing around our YouTube audience. Hopefully help you things, whether you're there and avoid mistakes so you don't get to where we're at and trying to figure some of this out, or if you're already there, help you with some of that stuff too. So while we're going through this, I would love it if you guys would tweet me. You can do that at Tim Schmoyer, and what that'll do is I will put your tweets right up here on the screen while we're going through it. I know you guys have lots of questions that you want to ask, but we won't be answering questions. I'll just be featuring tweets that of your advice and opinions that are relevant to the topic that we're discussing here today. Before we jump in, sponsor for this week's show, which is famebit.com. Now, if you guys aren't familiar with Famebit, you can go check them out. There's a link in the description below that will show you more about them. But they're basically a marketplace where you can go and find brand deals. That may or may not work for your audience. You can go through here. You can filter them by category. And then you can filter by price if you have a minimum price that you want people to like your minimum deal is $1,000, so you can look at just those. And this is a really great way for those of you who are starting to develop the business size of your YouTube channels to start getting your feet wet with brand deals, working with sponsorships and companies. And we're going to talk a little bit about that here today in our show. But this is a great way to get started. So let's say, here's one, let's say this one, ring style. And you're like, that one will work perfect. You can click on details here to find out more information about it. They're going to help. They would love to work with you on YouTube. Also your Instagram, if you have Instagram following, they would love to help. They would love to sponsor that, as well as your Tumblr. So those are the 3 places that you can also have Vine. You can also have Twitter and other places, Facebook. But these are the 3 that this brand is using. Read a little bit about it, check it out. And if it's something that you say, yes, this would work great for my audience, you hit the proposal, enter your feed, dates, send the brand a little bit of information about your idea and why they should work with you, and then click send proposal. And it's a great way to get started. You do need a minimum of 5,000 YouTube subscribers on your channel to get started with this. So if that's you, use the link below. It'll take you direct. That will show you all about what this looks like and how this works for you as an influencer. And there's other pages on their site about brands and stuff, but this one will teach you and get you started as an influencer. So use that link down in the description below. Go sign up for FameBit and get started with brand deals and making money for your channel and your audience so that you can continue to serve them well. So go check it out. All right.
Tim, I love your media deck. I was actually it's on my list of things to do, both from talking to you and then talking to some other people and seeing some other, pitch decks, media decks, whichever you want to call it. And so I'm definitely going to kind of pick and pull from kind of when I go to create mine, because you hit a lot of elements that I had in my head that I wanted to do. Obviously, mission statement, you have your story. I love how you pulled comments. I love how you pulled comments from your actual videos, from your actual viewers. That's great, because that's like real testimonials, right?
Yeah. What I wanted to do with it. Oh, sorry. Oh,
sorry.
Okay. What I want to do with it is rather than competing on stats and numbers and showing people here's my audience's stats and everything, because then and I've learned this from Evan, right? Evan talked about this in one of our mastermind sessions, previous video entrepreneurs. Is I didn't want to compete on stats, because then I'm positioning myself to it's what price point for how much audience, and there's always going to be another YouTuber who can outperform me on stats.
Exactly. It's the value proposition that you bring.
Right.
I mean, numbers are obviously a piece of that, but they're not the entire picture.
Yeah. So that's why I do have numbers in there, but I wanted it to be more of join us on our mission. If you want someone who believes this, and this is our mission, about becoming a family team, working together as a family, there's lots of other family channels, but if that's really important to your brand, like we're the only place you can get that. And now I eliminated a lot of competition because they're joining us on our mission rather than just comparing numbers and stats and stuff.
Yeah, Tim, Lindsay and I briefly had this similar conversation yesterday about numbers, and I didn't have a chance to get back to Lindsay, but it's kind of the same thing. I think the approach, when you don't have massive numbers, obviously you're not going to be competing against the big guys. You do just what you were saying. You use your family, you use the warm, fuzzy feeling people get from it. You use the whole package deal rather than the numbers.
Yeah.
I think that's an important.
Yeah, I'd rather have brands that like, we believe in what you're doing, and
Right.
we want our brand to represent that same belief and that same mission. And that's so like, there's no one else on YouTube that believes and is doing that with their audience. So that's what I was trying to convey with it. And the stats are in there, right? Because those are important. That like they need to know something. You know, do you have one subscriber? Like, I don't care what your mission is. You know, so.
But he's a really good subscriber.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very
Yes.
loyal.
Evan comments on every video I do.
Hey, I try. It's good stuff. It's only for the good stuff.
So is there anything else about that?
Tim, I don't put packages on mine.
Okay.
And that might not, it may go against what other people are saying too, but I find that it boxes it in too much. I want to the purpose of that for me is to get on a call.
Mm-hmm.
And then I push them to packages that I feel fits their needs. So I guess it works if you just want to sell a pre-roll ad or, sponsor this video, then that might work. My stuff always ends up, I try to push them to bigger things, and I find that they come with a set expectation of just these things, and it's harder for me to then sell them on something bigger.
Yeah.
So my goal with the media plan, the deck, is just to get a call with me, when then I show my value on the call, I understand their needs, and then I sell them something much bigger than what they came in wanting.
Yep. Sweet. Cool. Thank you, guys. That's helpful. Let's talk about product launches and stuff. I know some of you guys have a lot of experience with this. I'm looking forward to learning from you. I have 2 video courses coming up, and I actually haven't even talked about them publicly at all. So this will be the first time I'm doing that.
Nice.
So maybe this is the first step of my launch. I don't know. But the first one that'll be ready in about another week or so. I haven't started launching it, but the actual content, the course, everything will be online, ready to start selling. The first one is called Find Your Voice. It's about helping people feel comfortable on camera and communicating authentically with their audience, building human connection, all that kind of stuff. So that one will be ready in a few weeks. And then I have another one coming out on video SEO, which will, I have the content ready, but I haven't started shooting it yet or anything like that. So that will be coming out later. Typically what I've done is I have primarily used my YouTube channel to start generating content around that course, or around the content or the value that the course provides, and then just publishing that as super evergreen type of content, and that continues to just perform in search, and that just continually leads to sales of my stuff. I do also have an email list that I know is super valuable, but I am not really like an email expert type of person. So I like send it out to like, hey, I'm live right now. You guys should come check us out, and I do have like little product launches sequences where I talk about the problem, and then I talk about the pain points, and then I talk about the reward, and I try to lead up after like 3 or 4 emails to a sale, that type of thing. But I know I have a lot to learn on how this works. So how would you advise, after the product is created, launching it to your YouTube audience, both through YouTube and via your email list? What should I be considering?
I think you're already doing a lot of the great steps. I would think you could use your email list a lot more, especially for your autoresponders too, for new people who join the list. So like, I don't know what it looks like, your sequence now, but there should be, 3 or 4 emails that just introduce them to you, provide value, like links to if somebody joins your newsletter list today, they may not have seen all these great videos that you posted before. So having links to some of your best content, introducing yourself, who is Tim Schmoyer, what your story's about, all that. And then in your autoresponder sequence, you can have your products too, right?
Okay.
So every new person who signs up for your newsletter on week 7, they'll also get a standalone email promoting whatever product you're having. And then in between, you have fresh broadcasts that aren't part of your autoresponder sequence. So, on my list, I do 2 emails a week. One is part of an autoresponder sequence, and sometimes it's promotional stuff in there. and then one is just a broadcast. And it could be promoting, a video that I have, promoting something else on my channel, or just providing value through content. But I think it'd be great to maximize your autoresponder sequence so that anybody new coming onto your list will find out about this, so that you don't make money only in launch week, but it's
right.
Every week.
Yep.
People are going to start buying your stuff.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, to Evan's point, I pretty much second everything he said. We just talked about this yesterday in a mastermind for my membership group, as a lot of the people in my group are trying to focus on the email list specifically because it is very much where these financial decisions are being made. I actually think that you could be leveraging the email list as not just an opportunity for that thought process all by itself, but the fact that people are on your list should be something special, and potentially, reaching out to them and letting them know something is coming. Maybe there's a pre-launch opportunity to potentially get some early sales that are, maybe a little bit discounted for getting in on it early. That tends to be one of the most effective ways to test whether or not the product itself is going to be a success anyway. But I completely agree with what Evan's saying. The autoresponders and really coaching people on how to best use you and your brand and access your content, those autoresponders are make sure you build those relationships on a regular basis with every subscriber.
And by autoresponder, you mean like automated sequence, not like...
So it's a sequence of emails that you've written one time, and based on when they join and when you program each email, it will distribute. So the first email that goes out is a welcome email, but maybe you schedule a second email that goes out 2 days later.
Right.
It's based on when that subscriber joined, but they will get that email. It's an autoresponder, not a broadcast.
Gotcha. Yep. Okay. I know what you mean.
Is your class limited in time? Do they have to join by a certain date and then that's it, or is it evergreen?
Yeah, these two are both going to be ongoing, just kind of always available. And then I integrate, like whenever I do a video about something related to SEO now in the future, I say, hey, if you guys want to dig into this more, I have this course, blah, blah, blah. And that's when I usually generate like another 1% of the viewership into sales from those ongoing videos.
I see the potential in the mailing list, and I started one last year as kind of a, everyone's like, you need to get a mailing list, and I did the kickoff, did the launch, and I failed to do the sequence, and I feel like I missed the boat on that.
But I don't think you have, though. You just have to recognize that because people are already on your list, if you program it to say it goes out 2 days after somebody joins and they've been on your list for a year, then you just have to know that that's going to be a mass broadcast instead of an autoresponder. So really, if you forget to do it at the beginning, it's more about just being tactful as you start integrating them. Like when I want to add an autoresponder, because I'm like, this is really critical and I want to make sure that this is in place, I have to respect the fact that it's going to show up as a broadcast because I have so many people that have been on my list for years, right. And it's an email that's going out 14 days after you join. They're automatically going to get it. So I don't think you've missed the boat on it. You just have to remember that for the first part of it, to most of your list, it's going to be like a broadcast because they've already been on your list, but it's still something you should absolutely do. You just have to do it in a little bit different way.
So when I set up if I were to set up a sequence right now, my current mailing list would get those emails anyways?
Yeah. So,
okay.
And this is why it's really important to decide on the order early too, because at one point I remember thinking, oh yeah, you know what? That's dumb. Email 4 should be going out 3rd and 4th, and they should swap. And I swapped them, but depending on when somebody joined, they may have gotten that email twice now. You just have to recognize that it's a formula. So if you're getting ready to launch a sequence and you have an existing list, you need to make sure that you just kind of add them over a period of time so that your current list isn't getting bombarded with emails. They will get them all the same day if they've been on the list longer than those emails have been scheduled to go out. Does that make sense?
So walk me through a good automated sequence then. What was the first one? What's the second one? What's the third one? How do you build?
The second one, I always recommend the resource guide to, I guess, and I'm not really sure what it'd be in this case, but let's say it's videocreators.com, right? So my second sequence that goes out says, if you ended up on this list, it's probably because there was some free giveaway or you randomly decided to join because you saw one video and thought it was cool. The likelihood that you've been to all areas of my website and there's a lot of stuff to check out there, is not very high. So essentially, it's just an email that tells people how to use your website. Here's where all the videos are. Here are where all the podcasts are. Here are where all my free courses are. Here's where you can see the top 10 videos of last year. I mean, it's really just an opportunity to get people to go somewhere that they care about by directing them on how to use your website.
What's the first one that you send out? You said that was the second one?
Well, the first one is essentially welcome. Here's the free thing you just signed up
okay.
for.
So we're talking about individual emails.
That's the immediate.
Okay, welcome. Yeah. First, okay, so the first one's a welcome. The second email then is the here's where you find my stuff.
Yeah, like official resource guide of Tim Schmoyer or whatever, you know, like here's how you can subscribe on YouTube. Here's how you can follow on Twitter. Here's where you can find all of my products for sale on my website. Yeah. I mean, it's a great way to pitch without pitching because you're essentially saying, this is just a guide. I'm just letting you know where things are.
Cool. And then email number 3.
I mean, you can do whatever. You're coaching somebody on how to get to know your brand. So what are the most important things that people need to know about you before they may or may not decide to buy a product? That essentially everything after that is up to you. I actually like to use, once you have people on your list, it's awesome. You have their contact information already, so you can go to town. If I were you, third email would probably be, here's my top gear. And then it's just, you know, like go check out this page where I have all my affiliate links. There's a monetization opportunity too, because it's like, here's the camera I use, here's the microphone, here are the lights, yada, 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 because it's very related to video creators. And I know it's something that your audience would care about if they're on your list. So you're really just, whatever the emails are, they're going to be different for everyone.
Yeah.
In my case, I would link out to a book that somebody else has written on Amazon that I'm going to make money on if you buy, but it's me saying, this is the networking Bible. Whether you buy it through my affiliate link or not, I'm telling you it's the networking Bible. I didn't write it, but I'm going to still recommend it to you because I'm a connector and I'm going to connect you to information that's important that you should know before we further along in this.
So that means you have my book on your list, right?
Of course.
So my current automated sequence when someone signs up is the welcome thing. Here's my free ebook, The Secret to Building Your YouTube Audience. And then I have a series of 5 emails that talk not about me, but about the problem that they're trying to solve by signing up, which they signed up to get The Secret to Building Your YouTube Audience. So I talk, a couple of emails about building your YouTube audience. And then the third or fourth email starts talking about the difficulty of that. And then at least in the 5th email is take the 30-day YouTube challenge, which is a pitch for my ebook, 30 Days to a Better YouTube channel, which is $30. And then after that, that's it. So I don't have anything like this in there. I think what I'm trying to figure out for in the next 7 minutes is with these products that I have, like I'm going to set up another series that I'm going to send out to my entire list that has no idea that this product is coming. So how can I leverage my YouTube or my email list? Like what should a brand new sequence look like that's geared just for launching a product? Does that make sense?
Yeah. And well, I think, not to monopolize time, but I think that you already said you were doing it before. I think maybe you just find more ways to talk about what the problem is and talk about what that person is dealing with or struggling with or thinking about, so that when that 5th or 6th email comes along and it's like hey, the product is here that we've been talking about, like what would solve these problems, this is going to help you do that. It's a natural piece of the conversation based on what you've already addressed.
I think where I'm coming from is that like I know email lists are super valuable, but I earn far more money from YouTube sales than I do from my email list. So it makes me feel like either I'm rocking YouTube or I'm really bad. I'm sorry?
How many times have you tried to sell to it?
Every time I have a new product, I do another email series, sequence to it that leads up. And then when I do my Video Labs course, which is a 10-week not one-on-one, but group-on-one with me, I sell that out every time. So that's good. But when I do like these other mini products, like this one's going to be like a $30 product for the first one. Mm-hmm. Like in my mind, I'm thinking like, man, it's so awesome. It's so valuable. Everyone should get this. And then I'm like, my email, like I'm just going to stick with YouTube. They buy way more. But I think it's because I haven't developed my relationship with the email people as well.
How many times do you let your email subscribers know about the product once it's like you're talking about it? Like you're full on, the sequence went out and now we're talking about it.
That's a good point. Maybe not as much as I should. I do like a 3 to 4, maybe 5 emails leading up to the sale, and then after the sale maybe 1 more.
So if you do 1 and you take into consideration you have X size list and you're open rate is, and then the click-through rate and whether or not somebody decides they're going to buy it, maybe it's the right time. Reminding them that that's sort of why people have these like launch periods, because it's also sort of permission to talk about it more than one time.
Yeah.
Especially when it's an evergreen product. That's probably why you're struggling with the idea of talking about it more than once. Like, oh, this exists, go find it. But you're still relying on the people that read it to be at the exact moment at the right time to read that email, want the product, and go and buy it immediately. Right. And if they forget and you never remind them, or if they never saw the email and they never get a second chance at that, it's just missed opportunity.
Right. Cool.
Tim, 2 quick things before, and I hopefully don't disconnect again on this Wi-Fi here.
He's in Spain, for those of you guys who don't know. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm in this humongous room here. And anyway, one, I would say, if you're not getting results from your email list because you don't put heart and soul and value into it, and if you provided more content valuable, just like kind of like what you're doing on Patreon, like you find a little extra bonuses and stuff, if you did that in your email list, then you'd be able to get more results from it. And the other thing is, I would make use of your signature as well.
Email
so in
signature?
every email that goes up, in the newsletter, right? You sign off, Tim, whatever. You can put in your email, but you don't send out, I don't know how many emails you send out, but I'm thinking more in the newsletter, thanks, Tim, and you can have a link to whatever the most important product is that you're trying to promote, because that just every time they get an email from you, that link is in the signature, maybe a link, you show an image of it too.
Yeah.
It helps.
So like a little like PS type of thing, maybe even also at the end of every email I send?
It could be a PS, or it could just be a picture of the book and a statement from yourself or from somebody who's looked at it and liked it. Just a little tack on. Somebody's reading the email, they get lots of value from it, and then below there's a call to action to go check out the book.
Okay.
Hey, also, are you using the default? I'm assuming you're using default settings in YouTube. That's a dumb question, but are your products in your description sections?
So the funnel is usually get to the email list first, then to the sale. But whenever I do a video about a topic that I dig into more deeply in a course, I mention the course, and then so I don't do it in every video, but I just do it as it adds value to the content I'm delivering in the video.
But you have existing like evergreen courses or products that potentially like could help somebody that opened up a random description section if they wanted it.
Yeah, I do. I could go straight from the video to the sale on an unrelated video.
Does it seem to you like, Tim, like you're thinking it may be too much of a hard sell to put that in the description of every video? Because I don't see it that way.
I don't see it as a hard sell. I just think of it as like, it seems like a little bit of a disconnect. So I try to like get people onto the email list so they get into the auto sequence to get the pitch, and then I usually don't send them straight to the sale, but I could, like, how much I already feature so much stuff in there. I guess I need to take stuff out. It's
measure.
Really
you can measure it, right?
I just think it's a resource. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
Tim, I have 2 more thoughts for you. I'll talk quickly. One, I'd love to see a making of behind the scenes stuff. So like as you're preparing your next product, you can show what goes into making a product, because it helps you, 1, promote and get people excited about it. 2, shows the process. It's still value add. I'm doing it for my book, right? I'm like on week 40 weeks of showing what I'm doing with the book without promoting and selling the book, but it helps add value to show what you're doing as you create it. So it may not work for this one because it's almost done, but for the future ones, hey, I'm starting a new project, show me some behind the scenes stuff. And 2, after you've launched it, have examples with people who have read the book and come on and help them. So, the book is on XYZ topic. Okay, the book is on how to be great on camera. So then you can have somebody who's read the book come on and coach them from material that they've read in the book. Yeah. So you're promoting it, but also providing value in an ongoing way. So if like once a week now you added a Friday afternoon live hangout with somebody that you're helping out,
right?
And you can pick different products. Like your 30 Days to Better
YouTube channel
book was awesome. You can bring people on who've gone through that process and what they learned from it, and then what they still need help with, and you can guide them. And it's a great plug for the book as well as you go along.
Yeah. So this next one's pretty much already done, but for my video SEO course, the content for that is done, but I haven't shot it yet. I haven't all I've done is put all the content together in Evernote. So that, like, are you thinking like start like a private Facebook group for people who want to follow the behind the scenes thing?
No, make it a YouTube video. Like even the fact that you put everything in an Evernote file, like how do you create an e-product? This is something that lots of your followers want to figure out. I want to create my own e-product. What process does Tim use? Okay, so I start on Evernote, and then I put things in Trello, and I have my team come on and help me there. And the ups and downs, like, I think there's too much content in here. Or how do I figure out what I'm going to put on the cover? If I'm going to collaborate with somebody, like every week, just give us an update on how that process is coming along
via email
and answer questions.
Or video, which one, or both?
A video, put it as a video on the channel.
Okay, I see. And so that would basically be doing on my YouTube channel what I could also be doing in email form to my email list, as long as it doesn't take 6 months and people are getting a little tired of it, right?
There has to be value every week, right? So if it's a Friday afternoon channel, video that's talking about the progress, it has to be, you have to give them some value. So a lesson that you've learned in the past week since the last update about creating your product, where you're at, and give me something that I can take from it. And then you can answer questions at the end too, like questions from the last video, you now answer on next week's video that relate to the product creation.
Yeah.
And you let people join in the experience, so you're building up a lot of attention and hype for it.
I like that.
Without ever really selling it.
People in the chat like that too.
I'm wondering if you could take like pre-orders or payment plan payments or something in this point, so you actually get people on the hook at this point that are excited. Because I know there's been things I've been excited about taking, like courses, but by the time it actually came around, I'd forgotten about it. So it'd be nice if you could get people kind of like on the hook, or like, you know, paying a certain amount a month, so by the time the class comes out, they've already paid for it and they can, you know, look forward to taking it.
Do like pre-sales as I'm doing it, as I'm generating excitement and buzz.
Yeah, definitely.
Like at a discount for like early supporters or something.
Yes. Oh yeah. Everyone loves a deal. I would definitely sign up early if I was going to save some money on it.
Well, I mean, that's the whole reason why like people want to do it, is they want to get in early. And if they get in early and they get it at a discount, even if it's a small amount, I mean, like, this is how you test if the product is viable. Because in my opinion, like I'm not going to spend a lot of hours on a course, and I guess it sort of depends on the course, unless you're absolutely sure and you've tested in other ways. If you haven't tested if being viable or not, I'm going to pre-sell it, and if it's going to fly, I'm going to know from pre-sales. And then you actually have the incentive to bill it out, because not only are those existing sales already there and potential testimonials, but you know that it'll be received well once it's live.
Yeah, that's what I did for Video Labs, is I actually sold it, and then after people bought it, I was like, shoot, now I gotta go make this thing. It's like,
exactly. It's the best incentive in the world to go make something, because people already paid you for it.
So I did, and it worked, but it was a crazy 2 weeks. So cool. This has all been really helpful, guys. I guess, man, I'm not gonna be in the hot seat again, so I can't make a. This is sad. Oh no. I was like,
hey, this is your channel. You can do live streams once we're all gone.
That's true.
You can do updates.
Well, here's how you guys can find out if this is actually going to work for me or not. Is there's a link in the description below to my ebook. It's called The Secret to Building Your YouTube Audience, and that is where you can sign up to get my to get on the email list, and that's where I'm going to be experimenting. So if you guys want to see how all this actually shakes out in real life, you can go get that ebook. It's free. Start with that, and then over the next few weeks here, I'll start sending you emails about this course. And then I think I am going to do that. I like that idea of having people join me on the journey while I'm creating this video SEO course. So the content's done, but there's still like a lot, like most of the work is still coming. So if you guys want to join me in that, sign up below. I didn't realize this would be a pitch for my email list, but it worked out well. So there you go. And then maybe on my email list, you can learn maybe some ideas of how to do your own email list. Although you might do better by joining Amy and Evan's email lists. So you can go to their websites. You'll find links to that in the show notes, or down in the description below this video. You can find out their channels and subscribe, and all the other people too. Kunta said he has an email list, so you guys want to sign up for them. And as Steve and Amy, do you guys, or Steve and Lindsay, do you guys have email lists?
I use my mine is a funnel for my real life workshops when I travel teach. So I kind of keep those people just so I can send it a one email. I'm going to be teaching in, Massachusetts. Anybody local want to come? And then my blog sends out an email to like 7,000 people daily. I post daily. So I try to keep those separate so I'm not bombarding people who just want workshop information with daily emails and vice versa.
Okay.
So I don't know if it's the best, but that's what I do. But yes, on my website, Frugal Crafter, you can sign up if you want.
I've had an email list for over a year now. I think I've sent out 2 newsletters. So it's one of those things that's on my list.
So this is good for you then. With everything else going on, I totally understand that. Evan, where they get your email list? EvanCarmichael.com?
Yeah, that works.
Clintus?
I know I have a short link, but I honestly don't remember what it is.
I'll get it from him. I'll add it to the show
It's linked
notes.
to my description of videos, and I mention it like every 5 videos or something like that.
Cool. And Amy?
I'm not as diligent. Like I was saying to Amy, like I don't use it enough. I don't have the auto sequence, so it's one of those things where when I want to promote something outside of the channel, more than just the channel, more than just in a video, I'll send out an email. But in a year, I've had it for over a year now, or almost a year, and maybe 10 emails, 15 tops. So it's not part of my strategy on a regular basis, but I see the value, and I've built a pretty good list. So I definitely want to 2016 start using it much more.
Cool. Sweet. And Amy, yours is at?
SavvySexySoul.com. It's in the sidebar.
Cool. Sweet. Well, guys, thank you for hanging out with us. You can find us also on iTunes, Stitcher, and SoundCloud. And if you, a little inside tip here is that we actually sometimes talk more than we have here after the show's over. And so as long as we don't talk about anything like personal or sensitive, I've been publishing those. So you can get the after show of what we talk about behind the scenes, so to speak, in the podcast version. So you guys can go check that out. And this is your first time here, I'd love to have you subscribe. This channel is all about helping you guys as YouTube creators spread your message and hopefully change lives with that by growing your YouTube audiences and reaching the people who need to hear what you have to say. So thank you for hanging out with us, guys. Thanks for being a part of this, and we will see you guys again next week when Evan is in the hot seat, and we'll catch up with his stuff then. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Bye.